Assalamu alaikum. In the course Diversity of Vascular Plants, our today's topic is classification of pteridophytes. Since a long time, vascular plants are usually divided into pteridophyta and spermatophyta. This classification was based on the assumption that pteridophytes lack seeds while spermatophytes produce seeds. But the discovery of pteridophytes, that is seed-bearing ferns, broke down this artificial classification. With the passage of time, there were many classification systems developed by various scientists. We will study them. In 1935, Sinnott introduced the terms Tracheophyta to include all vascular plants. Tracheophyta are further divided into four main groups: Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida and Pteropsida, but it is not certain whether these are divisions or classes. In 1953, Haupt considers them as classes, Psilopsida वगैरह को, in the division Tracheophyta, while many others like Zimmerman, Arnold, Wardlaw are regarded them as divisions. Arthur J. Ames, 1936, classified Tracheophyta into four groups on the basis of nature and relation of leaf and stem vascular anatomy and position of sporangia. The groups of Ames are Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida, Pteropsida. And in Psilopsida, Xylophytales and Xylotales are included. In Lycopsida, Lycopodiales, Selaginelles, Lepidodendrales, Pleuromiales and Isoetales are included. In Sphenopsida, Hyaeniales, Sphenophyllales and Equisitales are included, and in Pteropsida, Filicini, Gymnospermi and Angiospermi are included. So Tracheophyta is basically the group of organisms or the division of organisms having vascular systems, tracheids, vessels, having vascular systems. So these are all vascular plants जिसमें vascular bundles होते हैं. Then Tipu in 1942 called the groups of Ames as subphylum, जिसको Ames ने groups कहा था, Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida, Pteropsida, उसको Ames ने subphylum करार दिया. Wardlaw in 1955 gave them a rank of subdivision. A good number of botanists like Ames, Dara, Campbell, Arnold treat Pteridophyta as a single unit. This is a division of plant kingdom with four major groups. And those groups are subdivisions. According to recommendation of ICBN, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature in 1952, the name of division should end in the suffix phyta. So Tracheophyta will be a division, and subdivision should end in the opsida. So Psilopsida, Lycopsida, Sphenopsida, Pteropsida should be considered as the subdivisions. On the basis, Wardlaw in 1955 derived the division of pteridophytes into four subdivisions. So इन्हीं को Wardlaw ने जो ऊपर वाली ये एम्स की डिवीजन थी ट्रैक्योफाइटा की, उसी को इसने थोड़ी सी मॉडिफिकेशन के साथ ये सब डिवीजन का नाम दिया. और साइलोप्सिडा जो सब डिवीजन है इसमें वन क्लास इंक्लूड की साइलोफाइटिनी एंड टू ऑर्डर्स विद Xylophytales and Xylotales. Then Lycopsida subdivision includes one class, Lycopodini, having four orders, Lepidodendrales, Lycopodiales, Pleuromiales and Isoetales. Then subdivision Sphenopsida has only one class, Equisitini. Orders are five, Equisitales, Sphenophyllales, Calamitales, Pseudoborniales and Hyaeniales. And then Pteropsida having three classes, Filicini, Gymnospermi and Angiospermi. Filicini has four orders, Cynopteridales, Ophioglossales and Meratiales and Filicales. Then Gymnospermi and Angiospermi जो है इसकी तो अलग से हम क्लासिफिकेशन जिम्नोस्पर्म्स के पोर्शन में, एंजियोस्पर्म्स को सिस्टमैटिक्स में पढ़ते हैं. Then we will continue with this classification. Modern botanists such as Smith in 1955, Bold, Benson, Zimmerman, Cronquist and Takhtajan have dropped the term Tracheophyta as taxon, raising the different groups of lower vascular plants themselves to division level. Smith divided the vascular cryptogams into four divisions. Cryptogams, seed bearing plants. So vascular cryptogams, pteridophytes, division of these pteridophytes are, vascular cryptogams are the plants having no true leaves or no true seeds. So pteridophytes have no true seeds. Spermatophytes जिनमें जिम्नो और एंजियो आ जाते हैं, they have true seeds. So vascular cryptogams इनको कहा है कि ये vascular plants तो हैं, ट्रैक्योफाइट्स तो हैं, लेकिन इनमें ट्रू सीड्स नहीं हैं, स्पोर्स डोमिनेट करते हैं, ठीक है, और सीड फॉर्मेशन हैबिट की तरफ इनमें एफिनिटीज़ हैं. सो वेस्कुलर क्रिप्टोगेम्स और ट्रिडोफाइट्स को इसने एक इंक्लूड किया एज अ सेपरेट ग्रुप, एंड इसकी डिवीजन्स उसने बताई: साइलोफाइटा, लेपिडोफाइटा, कैलामोफाइटा, टीरोफाइटा. In Xylophyta, there is one class Xylophytani, two orders Xylophytales and Xylotales. Then division Lepidophyta, having one class Lycopodini. Orders are four: Lycopodiales, Laginales, Lepidodendrales and Isoetales. Then Calamophyta division, ये उसने Sphenopsida या Sphenophyta को चेंज कर दिया नाम. It has one class Equisitini and three orders Hyaneales, Phenophyllales and Equisitales. Then Pterophyta division has one class Filicini. Forms and subclasses of this class are Primophylaceae and Eusporangiate and Leptosporangiate. Then a firmly complete present most accepted system of classification of vascular plants, that is based on Smith, Bold, Benson, Zimmerman, Croquist and Takhtajan, may be referred to it in outline form as follows. Vascular cryptogams, pteridophytes, are one group, and it has divisions, four divisions: Xylophyta, Lycophyta, Sphenophyta and Filicophyta. In Xylophyta, there is one class Xylophytopsida and second class Xylotopsida. Xylophytopsida has one order Xylophytales and Xylotopsida has one order Xylotales. Then Lycophyta, it has two classes, Aligulopsida and Ligulopsida. Order Lycopodiales is the order of class Aligulopsida, and Ligulopsida class has four orders: Laginales, Lepidodendrales, Isoetales, Pluromyales. Then Sphenopsida, these are horsetails. It has two classes, Sphenophyllopsida and Calamopsida. Sphenophyllopsida has one order Sphenophyllales and Calamopsida has three orders, Calamitales and Hyaneales. Equisitales is the third order. Filicophyta are the ferns. It has four classes: Primofilicopsida, Eusporangiopsida, Protoleptosporangiopsida, Leptosporangiopsida. Primofilicopsida has two orders, Cladoxylales and Cynopteridales. Then class Eusporangiopsida has two orders, Ophioglosales and Meratiales. Then class Protoleptosporangiopsida has only one order, Osmundales. Then class Leptosporangiopsida has three orders, Filicales, Marciliales and Salviniales. Next is affinities of pteridophytes. Affinities of pteridophytes are with Bryophyta and Spermatophyta. With Bryophyta, here is a spelling mistake, sorry for this. With Bryophyta, both have terrestrial habitat. Pterido and Bryophytes both have terrestrial habitats. Bryophytes are amphibians, so there is a step towards terrestrial habitat, and Pterido are completely terrestrial, almost completely. Both reproduce asexually by means of spores, and the spores are also formed in the same manner. The sex organs, that is Antheridia and Archegonia, are essentially identical as regards to their structure and ontogeny. Both groups have the sex organs having sterile jacket layer around their sex organs. Male gametes, that is sperms, are motile in both. For fertilization, the presence of free water is must for both. In both cases, embryo is encapsulated. Development of early embryo takes place on the nourishment provided by gametophyte, and both groups show regular alternation of generation. These are the affinities with bryophytes, and here are the affinities with spermatophytes, that is seed bearing plants, true seed bearing plants like gymnosperms and angiosperms. They resemble the seed bearing plants because of the following characters. Number 1, in both groups the sporophyte is large, free living, and has dominant phase in its life cycle. The sporophytic plant body is differentiated into root, stem, and leaves. The plant body possesses vascular supply to all its parts. The vascular tissue is composed of typical xylem and phloem cells. The xylem consists of tracheids and xylem parenchyma. Vessels are not present. Phloem consists of sieve tubes and phloem parenchyma. The companion cells are absent. So here is the classification and affinities of Pteridophyta. Next we will study the divisions of Pteridophyta. उसमें हम सबसे वन बाय वन स्टडी करेंगे. फर्स्टली वी विल स्टडी साइलोप्सिडा. General characters of Psilopsida are: number 1, the plant body is a rootless sporophyte and that differentiates into a subterranean rhizome and an aerial erect shoot. True roots इसमें नहीं होती बल्कि इसमें subterranean rhizome होता है जो ग्रो करता जाता है इसमें सॉइल के नीचे, और वो किसी भी पॉइंट पे एक नया शूट जो है उससे अराइज हो सकता है. Number 2, branching is dichotomous in both subterranean rhizome and aerial shoot. जिसमें भी branching होगी वो truly dichotomous होगी, यानी एक branch जो है वो 2 parts में equally divide होती जाएगी. Rhizoids born on the rhizome absorb water and nutrients from the soil. Leaves often absent, or if present they are spirally arranged or scale-like, that is xylotum, or leaf-like appendages may be present like in Mesipterus. The vascular tissue is of primitive type, that is simple cylindrical protostele with annular or spiral tracheids. Secondary growth is absent, herbaceous stem होता है इनका. Sporangia are born at the apex of aerial shoots. They are either solitary like in Rhynia or in groups and terminal in position. There was nothing like that of sporophyll, like कोई ऐसे leaves नहीं होंगे क्योंकि इसमें true leaves तो है ही नहीं ना, ठीक है, तो कोई ऐसे leaves नहीं होंगे कि जिन पे ये sporangia formation होगी, ठीक है. ये डायरेक्टली शूट्स की एपेक्स पे प्रेजेंट होंगे, आइदर सिंगली लाइक इन राइनिया, या फिर ये ग्रुप्स की फॉर्म में प्रेजेंट होंगे, और इनकी टर्मिनल पोजीशन होगी एट द एपेक्स ऑफ एरियल शूट्स. Sporangia always bearing the same types of spores, that is they are homosporous. The gametophyte is known only in Xylotum and Mesipterus. These both two are living genera, while unknown in Xylophytales, that is usually non-living. The gametophyte is cylindrical or branched, subterranean and colorless. Sex organs are partially embedded in prothallus. Antherozoids are spirally coiled and multiflagellated. These are some prominent characteristics of Psilopsida. Then are the evolutionary trends of Psilopsida. There can be no doubt that Xylophyta represents the simplest vascular plants. Even among Xylophyta, Rhynia perhaps is the simplest. It consists of a naked leafless shoot-bearing sporangia at the apices of branches. From the morphological standpoint, Asteroxylon certainly represents considerable advancement over the simple Rhynia. The presence of photosynthetic laterals in Asteroxylon is no doubt a definite advancement in that it represents a significant step in the evolution of leaves. How far actually the leaves of Asteroxylon could be regarded as true leaves is open to question. Because the leaves lack a vasculature. True leaves में तो vascular bundles होते हैं, veins होती हैं ना, ठीक है. तो Asteroxylon के जो leaves हैं ये vascular bundles के बगैर हैं. हाँ, थोड़ा सा advanced feature है कि Rhynia की निस्बत जो कि leafless था, इसमें leaves या leaves like structures जो हैं मौजूद हैं Asteroxylon में. But the presence of stomata clearly indicates that the photosynthesis laterals are proceeding along the right path to be evolved into leaves. स्ट्रोमेटा इसमें प्रेजेंट है, यानी ये एक एडवांसमेंट है टुवर्ड्स द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ लीव्स. एनाटमिकली ऑल्सो एस्टीरोजाइलोन शोज इवॉल्व्ड कैरेक्टर्स इन possessing a structurally complex stele. The possession of pith and the leaf traces are additional evidences for the advanced nature of asteroxylon. The spore-bearing organs of Xylophytopsida are perhaps unique in vascular plants, the like of which could be seen only in Xylotum. The group as a whole shows such simple feature that it certainly defeats the tide, the first land plants. Ames observes the plant body of Xylophytales is a mere axis or thallus carrying on all vegetative and reproductive functions with little or no elaboration of form and provided with those features essential to existence on land and in the air. यानी ये बहुत ही सिंपलर प्लांट्स हैं, जस्ट एक सिंपल एक्सिस या थैलस है जिसने सारे वेजिटेटिव और रिप्रोडक्टिव फीचर्स जो हैं वो कैरी किए हुए हैं अपने ऊपर. नेक्स्ट इज साइलोटम. साइलोटम is the example of plant in Xylophyta. Systematic position is division Pteridophyta, class Xylopsida, order Xylotales, family Xylotaceae, genus is Xylotum. Here is the plant body of Xylotum. You can see the main axis is branched by dichotomous branching, then this dichotomy is again dichotomously branching, then again dichotomous, यानी हर जो पॉइंट ऑफ डाइवर्जेंस है वहाँ से इक्वल डाइकोटमीज जो है वो राइज हो रही हैं. और ये जो ऊपर आपको ग्रीन कलर में ग्रीन ब्रांचेस पे येलो कलर में नज़र आ रहे हैं, दीज आर द स्पोरेंजिया जो कि टर्मिनल पोजिशंस पे embedded हैं on the terminal positions of branches. Occurrence: Xylotum is distributed in tropical and subtropical regions. It may grow as an epiphyte on the bark of trees. It also grows on soil where humus is abundantly available. Plant body is sporophyte, main dominant. Plant body: the plant is a small shrub. The plant body is differentiated into rhizome and aerial branches. So going towards rhizome, rhizome is underground part of stem. This is not true root. Leaves and roots are absent on rhizome because it is underground part, and underground part पे leaves नहीं होते. Rhizome develops rhizoids for absorption of water. Aerial branches. Aerial branches arise from the rhizome. Aerial branches are green and cylindrical at the base. These branches are dichotomously branched repeatedly. Leaves are present on aerial branches. The leaves are small and scale-like. They are irregularly scattered over these branches. You can see this is a branch of Xylotum, and here you can see a foliar appendage. This is a small leaf-like appendage here. ठीक है. And these are Synangia. Synangia are the group of three Synangiums. Group of three Synangia. Group of three Sporangia you can say. ठीक है. Sporangia. The Sporangia are born in triads. They have very short stalks. Like you can see here, the stalk is very short. They are born in axils of small bifid leaves. दिस इज़ अ बाइफिड लीव, एंड इसके एक्सिल में ये स्पोरेंजिया जो है ये प्रेजेंट है. इसी तरह यहाँ पे एक बाइफिड लीफ है, ये एक बाइफिड लीफ आपको नज़र आ रहा है जिसके एक्सिल में ये ट्राइएड ऑफ स्पोरेंजिया मौजूद है. दे आर बोर्न इन एक्सिल्स ऑफ स्मॉल बाइफिड लीव्स ऑन द एरियल ब्रांचेस. दिस ट्राइएड ऑफ स्पोरेंजिया इज कॉल्ड अ साइनेंजियम. द टू लोब्स ऑफ द लीफ आर क्लोजली यूनाइटेड विद द साइनेंजियम. यू कैन सी एक ये लोब है इस लीफ का, ठीक है, और एक ये लोब है. बोथ आर क्लोजली यूनाइटेड, और ये तीन जो है वो स्पोरेंजिया 1, 2 एंड ये 3, ठीक है, ये 3 लोब्स इसमें नज़र आ रहे हैं. तो ये 3 लोब्स ऑफ स्पोरेंजिया, ये ट्राइएड जो है स्पोरेंजिया की, ये मिलके एक साइनेंजियम बनाती है. देन इंटरनल स्ट्रक्चर्स. एरियल ब्रांचेस. In transverse section, the aerial branches have central stele and the outer cortex. This is the TS of branch. You can see the central stele here, and this is the outer cortex region. The cortex is covered by a single layered epidermis. Stomata are present in the epidermis. The inner part of the cortex is formed of parenchymatous cells. You can see here. This is the inner part. Outer to this parenchyma are a few layers of sclerenchyma. These are the layers of sclerenchyma. The cells in the outermost part of cortex are rich in chloroplast. This is sclerenchyma. You can see chlorophylls in these cells. Cambium is absent in the stem. You can see there is no cambium. Stele is well developed endodermis between the stele and the cortex. The xylem is actinostelic. It has 6 rays, a core of thick walled sclerenchymatous fibers. Pith is present in the center of xylem. Phloem is present between the endodermis and the xylem. You can see this pith. Okay, this is endodermis. Then the phloem is present between xylem and phloem. These are the xylem with protoxylem and metaxylem and central axis. Pith is present. Then rhizome. The structure of rhizome is similar to that of aerial branch क्योंकि ये एक underground branch ही है. But pith or sclerenchymatous tissues are not present in the center of xylem core. The phloem is poorly developed. The cortex is composed of thin-walled parenchyma. A mycorrhizal fungus lives in it. The cells of lower epidermis contains rhizoids. You can say these are the mycorrhizal fungal cells living in these cortical cells. This is the cortex. This is epidermis. These are poorly developed phloem, and these are the central xylem. No pith is present. Then leaves. The leaves are simple structure. The epidermis is formed of chitinized cells and is without any stomata. The internal tissue is formed of photosynthetic tissue. The leaves are without a vein. Reproduction is by means of vegetative reproduction and sexual reproduction. So firstly, vegetative reproduction. Vegetative reproduction takes place by the death of the older parts of the rhizome. The younger parts of rhizome separate from the dead rhizome. They grow as long as independent plants. Sometimes the upper cell of the rhizoid divides and produces a small gamma. The gamma develops into a new rhizome after detachment, gamma or gamma cups. Sporangium. Xylotum is a homosporous organism or plant. Sporangia from groups of 3 on short stalks are present. This stalk is present in the axil of small bifid leaves. We have read this. It has bifid bracts at its base. The sporangia develop independently from each other. The sporangiophore divides early in a dichotomous manner. One branch terminates in a sporangium, but the other branch again divides into 2 branches, each of which terminates in a sporangium. इस तरह से तीनों sporangia में एक एक branch जाती है. Thus it produces closely united 3 sporangia known as synangium. Development of sporangia कैसे होती है? Each sporangium develops from a superficial cell of the sporangiophore. Thus, this cell divides transversely into an outer jacket initial and an inner archisporial initial. The jacket initial divides to produce wall. This wall is 4 to 5 cells thick. If we can say no. Okay. There is no diagram. I will share the diagram later. The epithelium is not produced in xylotum. In mature sporangium, some of the archisporial cells become elongated. They are filled with dense cytoplasmic contents, and these cells act as spore mother cells. Each spore mother cells, जहाँ कहीं भी spore mother cell होगा, it will undergo meiosis and produce 4 haploid spores. The rest of archisporial cells disintegrate to form protoplasmic mass or tapetal fluid. It nourishes the developing spores. The epidermal cells of sporangial wall become thick-walled, but a single vertical line from the base of the sporangium to the apex remains thin-walled. The mature sporangium dehisces along the line, and the spores are liberated. Then gametophyte. Each spore germinates to produce a small thallus gametophyte or prothallus. The gametophyte is colorless, subterranean. that is underground. It has one, two, or more short dichotomous branches. Gametophyte is infested with mycorrhizal fungus. There are no vascular strands in gametophyte. It bears numerous unicellular rhizoids to get attached with the substratum or soil. The gametophyte does not have much internal differentiation of tissues. It is monoecious. The sex organs are produced near the growing apex. Then Antheridia and Archegonia. Antheridia are produced earlier than Archegonia. The mature Antheridium is globular structure. It projects out on the surface of gametophyte. How it develop? Each Antheridium develops from a single superficial cell. It divides into an outer jacket initial and an inner primary androgonial cell. The jacket initial divides to produce a single layered wall. The primary androgonial cell divides to produce a mass of androcytes or antherozoid mother cells, which gives rise to a single coiled or multi-flagellated antherozoid. The antheridial wall ruptures to release the antherozoids. And then Archegonium. The mature Archegonium consists of a neck and basal part. The neck contains one or two neck canal cells, like you can see here, one or two neck canal cells. The basal part is embedded in the gametophytic tissue. It is without any well-defined venter. This is the basal part. It contains a single large ovosphere. This is the single large ovosphere in the center. This is the egg or ovosphere. Development of Archegonium. Archegonium develops from a single superficial cell like this. It divides transversely into an upper primary cover cell and lower central cell. Then the primary cover cell divides to produce a group of 4 neck initials. These are 2 neck initials and these are 4 neck initials. These neck initials divides to produce neck. Here the neck is formed. The central cell divides transversely. This is the central cell and it divides transversely to a primary neck canal cell. This is the primary neck canal cell and this is the primary ventral canal cell. So primary ventral cell functions as an egg directly. Here is this, the egg in the all upcoming diagrams. Fertilization. The neck canal cells of mature Archegonium disintegrates. It produces a pore through which enterozoids enter the Archegonium. Only one enterozoid fuses with the oosphere to produce oospore. So from this enterozoid will come and only one enterozoid will fuse with this. Development of sporophyte. Ovospore divides transversely into an upper and lower cell. The lower cell by further division produce a foot buried into the tissue of prothallus. It absorbs nourishment for the developing embryo. The upper cell divides to produce a mass of cells. Its 1 or 2 peripheral layers act as apical cells. The apical cells divides and increases the size of embryo. The gametophytic tissue completely surrounds the young embryo like calyptra in early stages, but later it comes out of calyptra. Some of its surface cells produce rhizoids. Other cells are infested with the mycorrhizal fungi and the embryo becomes independent. The embryo by further growth becomes the rhizome. The rhizome develops aerial dichotomous branches. This is the life cycle of xylotum. You can see here. So starting from this sporophyte plant, it has these synangia on it, okay, and this is the transverse section of synangium having 3 sporangia in it, and these sporangia have spore mother cells, and these spore mother cells will undergo meiosis and will be divided into 4 spores. Each spore mother cell will be divided into 4 haploid spores, and each spore will germinate into a gametophyte. So on the gametophyte there will be antheridium and Archegonium, and development of antheridium and Archegonium is described earlier. So these will developed. Here is the development of archegonium, and here is the development of antheridium. So archegonium will have one egg in its venter, and antheridium will produce sperm cells that will be motile and reach to the egg through the venter of this archegonium and fuse with the egg and form oospore, and this will then be diploid. So this is the zygote, diploid zygote, and this will divide and produce sporophytic plant. So this is the life cycle of xylotum. I hope you would have understand the topic. If there is any query, you can ask in the comment section. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.